In this video, we're going to make the select menu simulate API data. So it's going to look a little closer to what the data looks like that you would be retrieving from the backend in a full stack web application. So the prerequisites for this video, you should already know about select menus in HTML. You should be familiar with key value pairs in programming like dictionaries in Python, objects in JavaScript, lists in Java, associative arrays. All of these things they're very simple. It's just a key value pair. And if you're not familiar with those, you can go ahead and watch this video and you might be able to learn from the video what they are and how they work. You should also be familiar with document.appendJob or using append child in general. In fact, I think I'm going to change this slide right now. So it's not document.append child, just append child. Okay, so let's get started. The learning objectives for this video, you will change the, students should be able to change the values in the select menu to contain more data. And if you're doing this as an assignment, really what you're doing is you're updating your select menus to contain the price of each item. So it's not just enough to know that you want, ground nut soup or egusi soup. You need to also know the price. This is a restaurant, we're ordering. So at the very least, you need to know the price. And that's what we're updating here. So we've got this food list and it's great, but like we just said, we don't have the prices of any of the items. So the food list, instead of being an array of strings, it needs to be an array of objects. An object in JavaScript is a key value pair. So for example, we can talk a little bit about objects. We're going to go into here and just go into our console here. And we can say var my object equals, object looks like this. It starts with an open curly bracket. Let me say my name, muta. And then we'll just say color, red, and then house is 100, right? So if you do my object dot name is a muta, my object dot color is red, my object dot house gives me 100. But you can also say my object, and you can use the brackets, color, right? So name, color, and house are keys. In muta, red and 100 are values. So you can get access, if you put the key in here, my object, the name of the object, and then the key, you get the value. In JavaScript, you can also do things like object.keys, and then my object, and then that gives you an array of all the keys. But we don't need to do that here. But that's basically how key value pairs work. You call the key, you get the value. It's almost like a vending machine. You say, I want the name, you get in muta. I want the house, you get 100. So what we want to do here is that we want to create key value pairs for all of our foods here. So I'm going to put these all on each on their own line so it's easier for us to read. And we want these to be objects. So each object will have a name. Name, Changu fish. Price will be 5. And we don't worry about currency here. Name, ugali. Price, 2. Name, egusi soup. Price, 5 as well. I think egusi soup is the best thing on this menu, but that's your, everybody has their own opinion. Eba, price, it should be just like ugali, 2. Pesir what? 4. Gomin. 450. Ah. So what this will allow us to do is that when we loop through here, we do the same thing. We create the element option, and we give the value. Food list I is now not a string, it's an object. So we need food list I dot, the value will be I dot price, and the inner HTML will be I dot name. We save it and then we refresh it, select the dish, Tangu fish. We should be able to see if we inspect this element here. See, these are all the prices here. 5 for Changu fish, 2 for ugali and eba. Egusi soup is also 5, and so on. So now our prices are here. And of course, we can convert those to proper monetary format later. We can fix the decimal places or whatever. But we've now upgraded our select menu to have more data. So when we select one of these, then we can send more data to the shopping cart where we actually have to tally up the prices of everything when we're completing our order.